The river snail and the young man.
A long time ago, there lived a young man at a certain place. One fine day, he was alone in the field. Feeling lonesome, he said to himself, I blow this field and live here some days. Then whom do I blow this field with? The next moment, he heard a sweet voice saying, You can work with me. To hear a woman's voice out of nowhere was really weird. The youth ventured to say it once more. I blow this bird and leave it someday. Then I blow this bird with. You can blow with me, replied the same voice. He looked all about. There was nobody else but a river snail. Who in the world answered me just now? Asked he. I did, the river snail replied. Please take me with you. Keep me in your water jar. Then good thing will happen to you. The young man took the river snail as he was told, and placed it in his water jar. And the following morning, when he walked into the field to plow the field, he found the field was already plowed for him. From that day on, every morning and noontime and evening, the field was always plowed. So he did his bit of housework. In addition to that, he washed, cleaned, and folded his clothes.
He wondered who was doing all this work for him. So one day he stayed home and watched the field carefully. And lo, who should it be that came out of the water jar and turned into a charming young lady but the very river snail? This charming young lady plowed the field, fed the cow, and planted some crops. When evening came, she finished the work and then got back in the water jar to be a clam again. How fantastic! He could do no more than blankly stare at her. The next day he hid himself another time, but when this charming lady appeared, he ran up to her and took hold of her. He pleaded, You're so good at farming, can you work with me? I can give you a place to stay and a high wage. Sure, she replied. After that day, the young lady became his colleague, and they worked together happily. Then one day it so happened that the king came to this village on his hunting trip and saw Miss River Snail. Seeing how diligent she was, he wanted her so much that he asked for her co-worker to come to him. The king said to the young man, You and I will have a competition. You will cut down all the trees in this mountain, and I all the trees in that mountain yonder, and whoever finishes first will be the winner. If you win, you shall have half of my kingdom, but if I win, I will take your colleague with me.
The young man, after hearing this, was sick and hurt with worry. It was certain that the king would get it done with the help of his many subjects. But as you know, the young man would have to do it all by himself. It was obvious that he would lose. Mrs. Liversnail, however, didn't worry about it at all. Instead, she wrote a letter, tied it to a ring, and then gave it to the young man. Take this and drop into the sea. Then you will meet my father. When he gives a gold, you just bring it and you will be able to beat the king. The young man went to the sea, and told by Mrs. dropped the ring into the water, and the sea water divided and a dry path appeared. He followed the path until a splendid palace came in his view, the king of the sea welcomed him. Work hard and a lot of money with my daughters. With these words he gave the young man a gold, the precious gold in his arms. The young man retraced his way back home.
Soon afterwards, the felling competition began. The king had hundreds of soldiers and common people cut down trees in the mountain, and the young man went up to the mountain by himself, carrying only the gold with him. The king looked at him with pitiful look. Now the young man lifted the lid of the gold. In a twinkling of an eye, a crowd of people streamed out in rows, each with an axe in his hand. There was no way to count them all. In a matter of moments, the little people chopped down all the trees and disappeared back into the gold. The king lost the competition. Full of anger because he had lost, the king wanted them to compete to cross the river on horseback this time. The reason was that he was an excellent rider. Worried again, the young man told his colleague about it, and she, as before, gave him a ring, another letter tied to it. He went to the palace with it and returned home with a scrawny horse that the underwater king had given him. He was very discouraged. He felt there was no way to win against the king, his own horse being such a scrap.
On the day of competition, the king appeared on a fine steed which was known for its strength and speed. On the other hand, the young man was riding on such a bony little horse that the crowd took pity on the rider. The signal for the start was given. The king and the young man both gloved their horses. The crowd watched the two in breathless suspense. Then they saw something hard to believe. The young man was already on the hill across the river, but the king was not even halfway across. In haste, the latter struck his fine steed hard, but the river was too deep and he plopped into the water. His subject, who came rushing to rescue him, advised, "That fellow doesn't seem to be an ordinary man. You'd better stop matching with him." But the king would not give in. So he commanded that for the last time the two now crossed the sea in a ship each. There were some loyal subjects who believed the king was doing what was not quite right, yet they dared not stop him. They simply decided to stand back and just watch, as they were certain the king would lose again.
One day of the last competition, the king appeared in the fastest of all ships in the kingdom, and the young man showed up in a bark given by the underwater king. Compared to the great royal ship, his looked like a leaf. But then, no sooner did he get his spark going than it shot forward and soon reached the finish line. As for the king, he was not even halfway across. Suddenly, black clouds swept over the sky and there arose a bad storm. Great waves waved and frightful lightning flashed. In the midst of all this, the king's ship disappeared and was never seen again. I can tell you that he drowned because he had made the underwater king very angry. The people who were watching on land whispered among themselves that the wicked king was punished with drowning in the sea. Shortly after the king's death, people made the young man their new king. And the new king appointed Miss River Snail as his prime minister. And the young man, we were told, ruled over the kingdom bravely and kindly with the advice of his new prime minister.